Invest Nova Scotia supports businesses, helping you thrive at every stage of your journey.
Skunks and Roses by artist Laura Hambleton is a unique, all-natural hide tanning and leatherwork company, crafting her wares out of Deep Cove, Nova Scotia.
In 2016, I started to become interested in leatherwork, and I couldn't really find anything around that was kind of expressing my personality, and so I started to just take some leatherworking classes to just learn how to do a little bit of it myself. And I guess I'm a bit of like an obsessive person, so then I decided, oh well, where is the leatherwork in the world that I'm most interested in? And it was in Chiapas, Mexico. So I thought, well, I'll just take a leave of absence from my job and I'll go there and see if I can walk around on foot and find someone who might take me on as an apprentice, because I don't really learn that well from reading books and videos and things like that. I really learn better under the instruction of someone. So I went to Chiapas and I found a really lovely traditional leather artist who agreed to take me on, and I stayed there for almost 3 months and came home to Canada and just started to work in using materials that I could find locally.
The entire tanning and crafting process for Laura's work is done by hand, starting with the tanning solution. A draw knife is used to peel the bark until a sufficient pile is collected. It's emptied onto a tarp along with a board and a hatchet, which are used to chop it all as fine as possible to maximize the concentration of the solution. The bark chips are added to a bucket and transported to a pot inside. Once the pot is full, water is added, it's stirred, then set on the stove to boil for a few hours. Once the solution has cooled, a sample is added to a barkometer, measuring to see how strong the solution of tannins is. The tannins in this batch are perfect for tanning. The solution is now strained into a bucket. A previously prepared sheep hide is added and stirred. Stirring and salt can dictate the color of the final hide. It's agitated off and on for a few hours and then left to soak for at least a week. Tannins from the bark bind to the hide proteins, making a permanent transformation. Holes are added to the exterior of the hide using an awl. A large needle threads twine through these and around nails on a frame to rack the leather. As it dries, it's pulled tighter. Sharp tools are used to soften it, making it more malleable. The twine is carefully removed, and the leather is brought into her studio. An old iron stretches the leather out, flattening it, starting with the back. A wooden block smooths it. Showcasing imperfections is a part of traditional hand tanning. Patterns from wet molds and leather traced onto paper are used. One for knife cases is located. It takes time to find a suitable spot to ensure all of the precious leather will be used. An awl is used to trace out the pattern. Laura finds another spot to trace another sheath. She cuts one out using the knife and sets it aside before cutting the other. The remaining hide is rolled up, tied with twine, and set aside. The sheaths are set on some newspaper. Mineral oil and beeswax are rubbed in by hand. This protects the leather against water damage, smells nice, and conditions the leather. The sheaths are fit over knives to check the shape. A piece of sheepskin is selected to attach to one of them, and then a favorite fish skin is preferred for the other. It's important to choose pieces that fit the pattern well. This is traced onto the fish leather with pen and carved out. The sheepskin is clipped to the pattern and it's cut out with scissors. The top of each sheath is scratched up. Both are placed back on newspaper and tanner's bond glue is painted on the scratched area. It rests a second before attaching the fish leather and setting the iron on top. A wing divider marks out where equidistant holes will be punched out. It's done on the back and then on the front where they connect. A hammer and hole punch are used to punch these in. Needles and waxed linen thread are selected, and what's needed is cut off. The needle is threaded, and excess is left where it enters at the back. The perimeter where the holes were punched is blanket stitched. The ends are tied tight, cut off, and burnt. The stitches are hammered. A different needle is used to stitch the sheepskin sheath. Another blanket stitch is pulled through, wrapping around the thread to make a nice line. The sheaths are clamped together with clips to complete them. A wing divider and awl are used to mark where holes go and to crease where the knives lay. A new hole punch is grabbed to hammer holes in. The edges are trimmed and then burnished with a Dremel tool. More mineral oil and beeswax is applied to seal it. They're fit over the knives, and spots to add the snaps are marked out with the awl. A snap is taken out, ensuring the right hole punch to match it is selected. The pieces to assemble the snaps are lined up on a slab of marble. The holes are hammered out on each sheath. The head of the snap is positioned. Snap setters are gathered, and the right size selected to hammer it into place. This happens twice for each sheath. The holes are pinned together to trim more precisely. More beeswax is applied, and they're burnished again. Light and then dark leather calf lace is selected, and its ends cut off on angles. Using a permalock needle, black lacing is added on the bottom of the fish sheath. The light lace is braided from the top of the sheepskin sheath. The last stitch is snipped towards the back. After a fluff, both knife sheaths are complete and ready for sale.
In starting to learn hide tanning, I've come into contact with people I wasn't normally coming into contact with. So I've made really strong relationships with farmers, with hunters, with trappers, with butchers, and sushi restaurants who typically would throw these things in the garbage. Will say, hey, I've got a bunch of salmon skins, would you like to use them? So I've made a lot of really interesting local kind of supply connections.
Invest Nova Scotia supports businesses, providing the tools and expertise you need to succeed.